painful almost for me to like understand where the majority of people sit, both men and women, in the lack of sexual understanding of what's possible for each and every single one of us. You know, like there is so much more capable for us. And that's one of the reasons why I love Tantra, is because it's not about the goal. It's not about the end game. There is no end game. Like when you are fully present, fully dropped in, fully in your body, there is, I mean, you can have an anklegasm, you know, that shoots layers and layers of erotic energy, you know, up your spine and throughout. And there's just so much that you can do. I mean, even just with an eye gazing, it's just so powerful. And yet we are programmed in our society to be so outside of our mind. You know, we're so in everywhere else other than what's present. And I think that this is one of like the biggest challenges that we face today in our modern century. It's like, how can we, even with technology and with all the choices and all the options, how can we still remain connected to one of, I believe, what is one of the most powerful pieces of our humanity, which is presence, and like all that exists in this moment. This is where the frequency lies. It doesn't lie in the $1 million that you're trying to manifest, or the partner, or the sexual peak experience. It lies like here and now. And when we can access that, that's really, that embodiment is what creates the law of attraction, as you were speaking into, which is like the vibrational resonancy that's put out and then reflected back into the universe, because it's all just one big mirror. And yeah, it's really beautiful, like where we're at and how this knowledge gets to get shared, because I think it's just so important for everyone. Like, who doesn't want to have amazing full body orgasms and or bliss every day, not dependent upon whether there's corona or whether there's not corona, you know?
Okay. Corona has not stopped my experience of life in any way, except for just allowing synchronicity, like it always works, where all I can control is what's my vibe in this moment. And then the universe knows what fulfills me, what's fun for me, and I can attract to me those things out of the options that I can do right now, attract those things and still be able to enjoy life the way I like to enjoy life. I want to point out something, Amanda, you said that's so important, because at one point in my life, my greatest weakness was not appreciating the present moment, being so like, I'll be happy when, and focus on the future and all of these things. Like, I actually needed to attract Eckhart Tolle's power of now, which the way that it came is just like, I love saying like the universe is so obvious when it comes to synchronicity. I moved into this place with 5 roommates in LA, and the only thing left in the whole house was 4 spiritual books in like the corner of the garage. And I had heard of a couple of them, so it made me respect all of them, and I saw the power of now. At that time, I could probably say it was the only time that I was really in a consistent, just not feeling good, not excited about life. Like, you probably will call me depressed. It's just, I wasn't excited about anything. I was pretty lost as far as direction. It's about a decade ago. And I read that book, and it immediately gave me some new awareness. And it wasn't just like rainbows and fairy tales and sunshine from that point on, but that was like my first like kind of slap in the face. Like, well, like all that exists is right now. And now, a decade later, by far my greatest strength, and then what that leads to is what Amanda was describing, because you can't access the frequencies that we're talking about if you're having an enjoyable experience, whether it's sexual or not. But say you're having a sexual experience, and then all of a sudden you lose presence. You're like, I wonder, are they enjoying it? Or I wonder, should I be doing it? Or is this okay? I mean, all these things that can come into play. Well, guess what happened to your energy? Momentum that maybe was going, it just stopped, because you just went to worry or doubt or fear, and now your energy is going in a totally different direction. So the only way to reach those frequencies is, because none of us are going to go from like frustrated to like bliss in a snap of a finger. It's just just how energy works. But you can allow yourself to return back to peace, and then from peace we can have awesome synchronicities happen, or awesome ideas or life experiences, where now momentum can start to carry us to some of these frequencies, where now you're touching frequencies like we're talking about that we can't even describe. So presence is all I care about, is because it's all that exists is our right now moment. Because even when we get to these things that we want to accomplish or achieve, or relationships that we want to have, or whatever it might be for you out there, even when we get to that point, it's not promised to us, like all those promises right now. For one, that's the main reason I'm so hyper focused on the present, because all that's truly promised. Like, we all assume that we're going to wake up tomorrow, and all of us listening to this podcast, I'm sure we will. However, it's not truly promised. So why take for granted this moment and this moment and this moment, when we can, maybe it's not the most blissful moment that we ever had right now during what's going on. It doesn't also have to be the worst moment that we've ever experienced either. It's truly a choice. So I love it.
So beautiful.